This is Trekzone's Vegas or Bus Tour with your host, Matt Miller.
Well, welcome to STLV Day 2. The daily blogs continue here on Trekzone, and it's going to be another exciting day. The convention really is starting to ramp up. There are more people flowing around the corridors. The interviews are starting. Yes, we are getting Star Trek alumni on the show, and they're going to be featuring throughout the month of August here on Trekzone. So be on the lookout for those. I'm very excited. I'm going to keep them all secret squirrel until they're released, because I want it to be a surprise. I want it to be fantastic. We're walking down the main promenade now, and this is just huge. It's only going to get bigger as the weekend rolls around and more details are announced. Let's hit the convention circuit and see what we find on Day 2. Dan, tell us a little bit about Gaze in Space.
Absolutely. Gaze in Space is a non-profit organization that was founded 3 years ago to celebrate the fact that after 50 years, there were finally gay characters in Star Trek. It took more than half a century for the gay community to see themselves reflected on screen as a part of Roddenberry's optimistic vision of a utopian future where complete and true equality had been achieved. So that was a very significant moment, in my opinion. And it seemed as though, and the moment, of course, is when Sulu's character was shown to be gay in the movie Star Trek Beyond in 2016. And it seemed like no one was really paying attention. There was no, I thought people would be going nuts, saying, finally, yes, yay! But nothing was happening. So I thought, you know what, I come to Star Trek Las Vegas every year as a member of the press to do interviews. And I was going to be here anyway, so I said, you know what, this needs to be commemorated. This is a moment in history that's passing by with no pomp and no circumstance. And if any group deserves pomp and circumstance, it's the gays. So I said, you know what, I'm going to throw a party. I don't know if anyone's going to care. I don't know if other people feel the same way that I do, but I do know I'm going to try. We had such a great turnout. Nana Visitor from Deep Space Nine came as our very first special guest. She was so adorable. When I asked her to come, she said, Dan, I can probably only stay for about 20 minutes. And I thought, you know, no, of course, like, just having you there will mean the world to us. She ended up staying for 3.5 hours because she had so much fun. And the next day she told me, she said, Dan, anytime you want to do this again, you call me and I'm there. So when Nana Visitor says she will come to a party if you plan it, you start planning parties. And now here we are 3 years later. We've done 56 individual events all across the country at different conventions, in cities, as standalone parties. Tons of the Star Trek actors have joined us. They've autographed things for raffles. You know, they've donated their time. And it's really been the most unexpected project of my life, because I expected it to be one party.
Well, Dan, it's been awesome to get to know Gaze in Space. Come down and check you guys out in the dealer's room. And I believe you had a party last night.
We did. We had, this year we are having 2 events. Last night was the first one. It was a party at the Voodoo Lounge, which is at the top of the Rio, where we are now. And it was a bit of a warm-up party, focusing on the announcement that our official 501c3 nonprofit status was made official about 2 months ago.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was last night, and that was, you know, it was a smaller event. We still had, you know, about 130, 140 people came and had a great time. Now, Saturday night is the Wrath of Vegas 2019, the 4th annual Wrath of Vegas party, and it is going to be absolutely insane. We're having it at a club called Piranha Nightclub. We have the Roddenberrys performing. They are a force of nature. We also have an artist named Aurelio Voltaire, who did an album called Bitrektual, which if you have not heard, you must, because it is hilarious and incredible music. Our drag queen hostess, Miss Heather Wood, will be performing a fierce Captain Janeway, and will be killing it as Dr. Crusher. There might be some Kira thrown in there as well. it is going to be an amazing time and just another epic celebration of this incredible moment in history that we are privileged enough to be here for.
Fantastic, Dan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are here with Mr. Larry Nemenchek.
Where? Oh, okay.
Just here at STLV.
Yes, it is.
We finally made it. We met in person the landing party.
Yes.
But now I've got you on microphone.
Glad to see you there, which is an experience in itself.
Isn't it crazy?
Yes.
This whole thing, I was talking to the Trek Geeks before on yesterday's show, and they were talking about Vegas has trademarked sensory overload. And it is so true. It is so true. You know,
in what way? Trademark sensory overload, meaning?
Well, it's just so bright and loud. And,
well, that's Vegas.
In
Vegas.
your face. It's amazing.
But no, I mean, it's part of that, like at landing party, at the masquerade, and wherever. Especially, it's the first night of the reunion, and everyone's seeing each other, and you have like 1 out of 10 people get sucked in. I've had 2 or 3 come by the table a day. Linda from Michigan was just here. You yourself, yes. But I love the people that said, "This is my first Vegas," and and it's like, oh, okay. It's like you want to give them a hug, but they don't. If they have any trepidation. I mean, we talk about the tour, the Geek Nation tours, thing that we're doing next year again, 2020. But it's like that's a great way to get in. And if you're coming alone, especially if you're coming overseas, and dealing with the States for the first time, much less, travel or whatever, but much less coming to the West Coast. Maybe Europeans come to Florida and New York, but they've never been Vegas and LA. And it's a great way. The tour is a great way to make a friend before you ever walk in the door, and that is true. But even if you just walk in the front door on Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever you get here. The first time you're standing in line for something, within 30 minutes, if you're all alone in your first trip, you've made 5 new friends. I mean, it's because it's Star Trek, and it's just, you're just sharing the love. I mean, but it's true. I mean, it's corny, but it's true.
And this dealer's room, the best thing I love about this dealer's room is it's probably the size of an Australian convention.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else to an Australian convention, just this room. So everything's on such a big scale, and they fill it. Every year.
Now, see, this suffers sometimes of comparisons to like San Diego Comic-Con, which is huge, and even the other big, Phoenix and Denver and Seattle and New York and the Florida Comic-Cons, and I'm probably leaving some the Houston ones. I'm insulting somebody, I'm sure, but and Salt Lake City, yes, where I'm going in a couple of weeks, but a month, but this is like those are Comic-Cons, and yes, they're huge and massive, but they're multifaceted, and this is only Trek. And it used to be the Grand Slam in Pasadena, and then they built the Experience at the Hilton, the late great Experience, which is no longer with us, but that got people thinking Vegas, and it's been a thing since 2001, and then the first creation one was 2002, and it's wild to watch it keep evolving, I wrote a piece, I don't know, when I was actually like really blogging about 2011, 2012, talking about the Comic-Conification of Vegas, where the cosplay got better and the panels got better, and CBS started having more of the licensees do panels. But yeah, it's not all fandom, but it's always a canary in the coal mine kind of a thing. Hopefully not dying, I mean. But as a barometer of trends, you get an idea maybe, yeah.
Nice. Larry, it is great to catch up with you on today's Daily Show. And I think that we will again before the convention is over with talking. I think we're going to need to dissect some news that's coming up on the weekend.
I think so, yes.
I have a feeling.
After last year, there's no way they will let this year sneak by letting the Comic-Con headlines be it. So I think we've got things headed our way. Trek well, Matt. And we will, as long as we survive the madness, I'll talk to you anytime.
Absolutely. Love your work, Larry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there we are. A very successful day 2 of STLV. Keely, how do you think that went?
Yes.
And I think Keely's doing that because there's a couple of things that we managed to achieve today. For Keely personally, can you give us a brief rundown of what that was?
I met Shazad. And John Delancey as well, so,
And Trekzone's been very fortunate enough to sit down with quite a few of the guests here at the convention. No spoilers, you will find out who they are throughout August. But of course, John Delancey is one of those people. I have to mention that. It's been absolutely fantastic. And Keely, I think you wanted to say something else?
And Olivia,
Olivia Diabo. Really appreciated her time, of course, working on Invader Zim. Jane the Virgin as well, we did not know, but the 3-part series finale for us when we get back to Australia. Star Trek The Next Generation, of course, and of course the Clone Wars, as well as Luminari.
Luminara.
Excuse me. There we are. Well, that is Star Trek Las Vegas Day 2 done and dusted. A huge thanks to Larry Nemechek. The Gays in Space. Tomorrow, more great action as this party just gets started.